Hey y'all, it's Leah. This is my other Dephemerember 24 journal that I did. So I did do two. One is Christmas, one is more grungy or just kind of random. Eclectic is kind of what I was going for. So my cover is very grungy. I used a piece of Tim Holtz fabric, and I've kind of discovered, or not discovered, but I found a way that I like to use fabric to cover journals. So I just cut my fabric um, a little bit long enough that it flips around. And so I love the salvage of fabric. Um, and so, like, she's a quilter, and so she has made me quilts that are just salvage pieces. So I've always really liked that look. And so, especially since this was kind of grungy, I was cool with that. So I just flipped it over, and then I sewed just around the top and the bottom, and then I turned over the sides. For some, I've done some other journals like this. If I wanted a neater look, I would just tuck this under and then sew it. But for this, I was totally fine with it being really grungy and just having that edge on there. So this one I went ahead and did just with elastic binding because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with different pages, if I wanted to work on them or do some different things to it. So I just found some elastic that kind of matched the colors. And then I did a topper with an old bingo card and just some mesh and some tissue paper and this cool button that I had. I had my husband cut the shank off for me because it was all metal. And I really just like the look of that. And then I spritzed it with some gold and some of the blue, kind of that turquoisey spray. And so just to kind of give it a little shimmer to that. So I have my prompt list here. I did this journal very eclectic. So that's probably my favorite style of journal to do, is where you can see like my pages are not the same sizes. I have lots of different types of paper in there. And so that's just my style. It's what I love to do. I have a pretty big collection of different types of papers and books and stuff. I'm an English teacher, and so I love books, and I am okay with taking them apart, which is kind of surprising. But I love like going to Goodwill or going to estate sales and just finding like the most random kinds of books and seeing like this is a shorthand book. Actually, I think this page, no, that was one of mine. I would say somebody did send me some shorthand pages, but they're smaller. This is a book that I had found. So it's even like somebody has written on it, and those are really cool too. I love finding that. So I've got the prompts on there. So I just printed that out. I made it smaller, and then I just added a little gilding wax to the edge, just to give it a little something on there. And so I didn't put my creations in there in any order. I just kind of went with where I liked it on the page. One of the other things, if you've watched my other video, I kind of explained my friend Nikki and I, who she was also going to do Dephemerember, we went ahead and did the swap like a lot of people did, and we exchanged 25 different things. And so our goal was, or maybe we did 30. I think we did 30 because we wanted to make sure that we had enough things to pick from, so that maybe if we couldn't make one thing work, it was okay. But our goal was to use at least one thing in every item. And I did manage to do that in actually both of my journals. So I was really excited about that. So this was the prompt. That was the slow stitching and the paper bag handle. And so I found a video that I will link below, because slow stitching really intimidated me. And so I went ahead, I found a video that really helped me. So she did just some stamping on muslin, and then she did 3 layers of fabric or lace or any kind of thing. And so I have my muslin layer. I have this was from Nikki. It's kind of like a straw kind of fabric thing, not really fabric, but just like a textured, it comes on a roll kind of thing. And then just this paisley cotton in the back. And so I have that. I added some old lace to that and then just stitched that on with some thread that kind of matches this, and then used my paper bag handle as the tab for that. So I really like that one. And then on the backs of all of my things, I tried to write at least the number of what day it was, or if I could fit the whole thing. Some of them I did the whole thing on there just to kind of remind myself of what it was. This was the flip. It was the flip and the cheese. So flip out and cheese. This one was really hard for me to find things, but I went to a Daphne's Diary. If you haven't seen those magazines, they're really cool. There's tons of things that you can cut out. There's actually a lady, I can link her videos below, that she has done like this whole, I have this journal that we followed along with her. My mom and I each have a subscription, or had a subscription to Daphne's Diary. And so we followed along and did like all of these pages. And so I've learned that if I need things, especially like when I'm collaging and stuff, I will pull out some of those magazines and look for stuff. So she has recipes always. So it's like, I know I'm going to find something with cheese. And so this one has mascarpone in it. So just to make that prominent, I just put a box around it. And then the peaches were part of that because that's the recipe, is like some kind of peach biscuity thing with cheese with mascarpone in it. And so I did a little tuck with that. So I only glued down here for that one. And this was actually from Nikki, the CD cover. And so I was able to use that. So you can see just kind of my random pages. This was actually a cool find that I got in a estate sale. It's an architecture book. So it has like when architects, this was like kind of the book that they all had. My uncle's an architect, and he was like, oh yeah, we definitely had that, because it's got every feature listed and like the dimensions and like what it's called and those kinds of things, just for all, like, this is molded metal window stools, and so and the trim. And so it was just kind of their go-to book. And so I thought that was really cool. So I've used pages from that. They just add so much to it. That's why I like kind of doing eclectic journals, because it's really cool to see kind of where your pages come from and that kind of thing. So, and even just notebook paper. My mom coffee dyed notebook paper, and it just looks, something that's so familiar to all of us. When you add some coffee dye to it, it just looks really cool. And just some dictionary page. I love using bags. This was the one that was the little animals. It was like a quirky cats and dogs, and then apothecary label. So I had this card that somebody had sent to me, and so I thought those were quirky little cats, and just added an apothecary label there. This little button was from Nikki, so that was my piece from there. And then I just added, I tinted some gesso with acrylic paint, and so that was kind of my background, just to kind of mark up the bag. And so that's where having the elastic really helped me, because I was able to take the bag out and do my painting that I wanted to do, and then slip it back in. This is the altered book page in the blackout poetry. And I think I said before, I'm an English teacher, and so I've done blackout poetry with my students, but normally when I did it, I covered the whole thing in black. And so I had seen somebody online. I just kind of looked up to get some different ideas, because I knew I didn't want it to be completely black. And so I saw somebody that just did this, that kind of circled the words and like connected them together and did some designs and that kind of thing. So I was really happy with how that turned out. My poems are a little random, but like my mom said, she's like, it's poetry, it's not supposed to always make sense, or that kind of thing. So it can be completely random. Just have some map page in there. This intimidated me the most. So this is the mini pocket letter with the specimens. And so I took a page protector and cut it down, and then sewed around it. And then just sliced here to be able to get the little labels in. And so then I just used some Tim Holtz pieces from, I think it was Field Notes, in there. And then I just had some stamps, some number stamps and that kind of thing. And so added those in for that. And then just stuck it in with a clip. This was the, what's it called? The collage postcard and the curiosity shop. I should make this into a real postcard, but I didn't. This one I went to my Daphne's Diary, because I knew trying to do something collagey, that's where I was going to get a lot of stuff. And so she had this page that this was like a house, and it had this arch, and I really liked that because that just kind of, it made it look like windows, like the front of a shop. And so I thought I could totally go with that. And so then I just added in, I cut out a couple more things from the magazine. This little chicken cracks me up. And then I also have some of those sticker books that are like the Curiosity Shop, and I have one that's like antiquarian. And so I cut out some of those. They have the white or the colored edges around them, and so I cut that out so it wouldn't kind of take away. And then just put the word "Stay Curious" because I figured it's Curiosity Shop. That works perfectly. I just have a little piece of vellum in there just to add some interest to the center. This was the, this is number 10, which is the, altered pocket and text fragments. So this was a pocket that I had, and then this was Louisa, no, it was Barbara's video that I loved, where she did the double layers of texture paste and different stencils. And I thought that was like one of the coolest techniques. So I made a couple of those, and so then I cut that up to give the texture. And then this was part of Nikki's package to me. She had this really cool butterfly. And then I just added in, or no, I think maybe that was already there, was like the glitter on there. Now I can't remember if I added that or if that was already there. But I really like the look of that one. This was the flip out with old pictures. And so this is just a Tim Holtz picture. I just added some background paper and just slid that in the pocket, and then just did a little cluster there with some Tim Holtz ephemera. Okay, so that is, nope, not yet. This was the Beloved Visitor, and what was the other thing? Did I not write it on there? No, I didn't write the whole thing. Beloved Visitor and, oh, journaling card. Yes. So that is my journaling card. I have always heard people refer to cardinals as like a symbol of maybe somebody who's passed on. Of a lot of people think that, you know, they believe that that is their loved one, you know, kind of giving them some signs. And so I went with that and cut out, this was a text pack that, or a book pack that I have. I can't remember the name of the lady that makes those, but it's got like, it's the same book. The same papers, and part of them are paper, like the first half is paper, and then the second half is the exact same pages, but in cardstock. And so I was able to use the paper as the background, and it had the cardinal printed on it. And then I took the cardstock one and cut out the cardinal, and then just popped it up on top of it. So if you see underneath, you'll actually see the exact same picture. And so I thought that was kind of cool, and then just added a little dangle to that, and then added some words on there. Okay. This was the altered playing card, and the it was one of the first ones that we did. Oh, and the keys. My keys fell off. I need to add that back on there. I didn't close the jump ring tight enough. And so this was Louisa's idea, where she kind of altered her playing card and then just turned it into a little clipboard. And so I just added the bulldog clip on there with just some little papers on there. Okay, so that is the end of the first signature. This is a 2-signature journal. This was one of my favorite prompts. It's one that puzzled me a ton, and then I watched Louise's video on what she did, and I found her principle that she had, and so I printed out the page that she had, and I covered both of my tags with that, and then I used my die cuts and some Tim Holtz embossing powders that kind of had similar colors in there that were in the background, and so I did those. Just added some words to it, and then I did the gilding wax around it. And then on the back, let's see, this was the piece from Nikki, were just these little things, and then I just did a little tab binding on there. And then I decided I didn't want to cover up one of the sides, and so I thought it would make a good, like a little page wrap, and so then I just added the paper clip to that. I got some Braille paper. Braille paper is hard to come by, but I absolutely love it. So I get it whenever I can find it. This was the woven flower and the snippet roll. Snippet rolls are something that I love the look of, but they intimidate me. But I kind of just went with it. So I wanted it to be fairly neutral in the background. So I did all kind of just beige, just papers and some lace and pieces and that kind of stuff. And then added just some Tim Holtz butterflies. And then for the flower, I took 2 pages of paper and I cut them into strips and I wove them I remember doing like kind of that basket weave in school, and then I used a die cut to cut out the flower. So this was not the easiest thing to do once you did the die cut, because it had little pieces, so I had to do a lot of like repair work afterwards, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then that little flower was from Nikki, so that was my piece for that. There were so many different altered playing card ideas that I had or that I saw, and so I actually made quite a few of them. And so this was a card that I had, and so I punched out, this was on the back of the card, had the Union Jack on it. So I punched that out and flipped it over and then just put it behind a doily, and then I die cut the keys on there and embossed them. And so I like that, and just have it paper clipped in there. This one was what was it called when you don't like the things that you don't like. Yes, so the least favorite ephemera and the bookbinder's art. So like Barbara had said, they confused themselves kind of with the bookbinder's art of what they called that. So I just went kind of with book page, and I figured if Barbara did it, it was okay. And then the thing that I don't like are those little books of they have like vellum, or they have stickers, or just random little papers and that kind of stuff. And they come usually in themes. So it'd be like all flowers, or it might have like a travel theme, or, different kinds of things. And I bought a bunch of them like from AliExpress or Temu when I first started junk journaling, because I'm like, oh, these are going to be great because there's all these different things. And then I had them, and I'm like, what do you do with them? And so I just thought that I would do a collage. And so I just I tore them. I think for this one I used all vellum, and so I tore them into pieces and collaged them on the background, and then covered it up with some book page. And then I just love this little girl. She is one of the cutest Tim Holtz characters, and I originally didn't have the tool on it, and I posted it on a group that I'm in, and Nikki, the one who had given me the stuff, that's the book page from her, she's like, oh my gosh, I love that dress and the tutu. And I was like, I wonder if she thinks it's actually popped up. And then I was like, oh, I need to add some tulle and actually make the tutu. And so I did that. And then I thought it needed something instead of just that raw edge. So I just added some little pearls to make it kind of like a little belt. And this is probably one of my favorite pieces. She just makes me so happy. I think it's really cute. This was the flip with the secret letter, and so I just did a little cluster on there with a guy sitting. A friend of mine from the Netherlands had sent me this envelope, and so I just have him. It's like a little, the little mortar and pestle, and so he's sitting on the edge. Just added a little stenciling there, and then inside. I have a letter to my husband. We will have been together for 30 years this May, and so it is just kind of a little love letter to him of, thanking him for being such a huge part of my life. And I just can't imagine life without him. So he's my person. He's my rock. So, yeah. So hopefully he's sick right now. So I will show it to him when he is maybe feeling a little bit better. So this is just some coffee dyed like wax paper. And so it just has a cool crinkly texture to it. I like that. So I like anything that's got textures and stuff is really cool. This was the frame with the steampunk butterfly. So the butterfly itself is not steampunk, but it has a steampunk background. And then I added, this was the piece from Nikki Samora that I ended up using that a lot in my journals because it just gave some really, again, its texture, and then just added some metal gears to that. This one, this was the layered tag and film strip. And so this piece was from Nikki. This piece was from Nikki. This is a embossed time card or a guest check that I had done a while back. And then I have this little picture of this girl that's kind of colored. So I added some pink lace to match that. And then my film strip is my tag. So I had gotten this in a swap with someone had sent me a couple of pieces of that negative film or film negatives. So so you can see I just have this random bag. This is, my parents live in Texas, and so this is a place that my dad goes, is Laredo Taco, and they always give him his stuff always comes in those bags. So my mom has a collection of them, and she's like, you need some of those. So it just is a fun little piece, and it reminds me of my dad. So that's fun. We just got like some English. It was an English workbook in there. Some more of that Braille paper. This was the black and white bookmark. So I just did, this was some Tim Holtz pieces, and I just did some layered paper on there, and then just some string to that. And I don't remember what did I have a Nikki piece on there? Maybe I didn't. I might have to, I thought I did everything with her stuff. Maybe I didn't. I might have to add something to that. So, caught myself. And the last one was the very last prompt that we had, which was the mixed media tag and the graffiti art. And I thought it would be appropriate to write the end on there. So I did a brick background. I think Barbara did this on hers. I had just seen it really quickly, and so I thought that would be a cool background to do. So I just did texture paste on there, and then I just kind of scuffed it up with some black ink, and then took a acrylic marker, and then I used the brush end, and so tried to make it look like it was kind of painted on there, and then did my little heart at the end. So that is the end of my journal. I am super happy with it. I haven't decided if I'm going to add anything else to it this year, or if, like my Christmas one, I might end up using it again next year, but I'm not really. I may just leave it as it is. I'm super happy with it. If I used it again, I would definitely have to change that. So or maybe I'll do some more of the prompts. I know some other people went back and used previous year's prompts, and I may do that just to add some more interest to the journal. So really happy with it. Hope you got some ideas from it and enjoyed looking at it. And so I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.